This misery, when will it end? Why can I not unclench my fists and let them fall through the air? What is holding this inside me? My eyes and my tongue move simultaneously, and my ears are of their own nature. My hands are of little use without a counterpart. My hands can only hold this wheel. This steering wheel that's driving me. Now isn't that funny? A steering wheel driving me. I turn it left, I turn it right, and it guides me through the night. All the streetlights flicker overhead as if they don't want to burn anymore. I don't want to burn anymore. My flame has been extinguished, and each time I relight it, the match burns further toward my fingertips. Everyone I drive by stares at me as if they want to stop me. The flickering streetlights in their eyes flicker right at me, and they scream, "Get out of here, we don't want you." His lights bounced up and down on the metal gates as his tires dipped up and down through the potholes littered throughout the street. He brought his car to a stop and kissed his knuckles. He ran his palms along the steering wheel and clicked his key out of the ignition. He flipped his headlights off and fogged up the dashboard. After several minutes of sitting in silence, he scraped his fingernails along the rug of his car until he found the trunk latch. He pulled the latch and a faint pop echoed through the frozen street. He slipped his dry fingers into the handle of the door and pulled it open. His boots crunched the snow beneath them as he made his way to the trunk. He slowly lifted the frigid metal and removed a shovel and a crowbar from the floor of the trunk. He gently closed it with his remaining hand and walked to the gate. I can't say I'm particularly happy with this weather, but I guess you make do with what you got. I've always loved the cold. I love the sound of my teeth chattering and the noise my boots make when I stamp the snow off of them. I love how my lips crack like a peeling cut because I get to give them the satisfaction of my tongue, but eventually they freeze. Everything out here freezes eventually, except people. We're the only things that remain constantly moving. This lack of frost is what has allowed me to see you. He threw his tools through the gaps in the fence and sprung up to the top like a cat. He latched into the icy bars with his fingers and pulled himself up using all his strength. At the top stood small spikes like the heads of spears, which he tried to grasp. They were covered in a mantle of ice, forcing his futile attempts to fail. He slipped to the ground but caught his balance in the snow. Again, he lunged toward the spikes, and with hands like vice grips he held on. His feet scurried on the rustling metal poles to help push his body up. He finally hoisted his foot onto the top and leaped off onto the other side. He landed on both feet and picked up his shovel and crowbar. He crunched his way around the grounds until he found what he was looking for. His tools hit the ground with a thud that had no echo. He breathed warm air into his cupped hands and rubbed them together in an attempt to heat them up. Wisps of fog sprouted from his lips and disintegrated into the air. He knelt to the ground and wiped the fresh snow off of the stone laying flat on the ground. Once he saw the words, Jane Monroe, he stopped moving his hand. Thank God you're still here. I guess I was afraid they might have moved you. I don't know where they would have moved you, but I guess I've thought about this long enough, that every scenario has run through my mind at least 3 times. Well, none of that matters now because I'm here. Yes, I know you're cold, but that's why I'm here, my dear. I'm here so you don't have to be cold anymore. With the edge of his shovel, he began scraping out a rectangle of snow just in front of the stone. I can't wait to see your shining face. I haven't seen that face in weeks. I'm sorry I couldn't come back. They said the funeral needed to be done before the holiday, and I was busy. I would have given anything to be there, but the frame of time just wouldn't allow it. I know. I'm here now. I'm here, and I'm going to see your shining face. He shoved the shovel into the ground and began to lift the grass out of its roots. His waist became a swivel, moving from the deepening depression to the increasing pile of earth. He then began removing the dirt. He placed it neatly on top of the pile of broken grass. His knuckles were bleach white and their skin began to crack. His fingers were tightly wrapped around the shovel's handle and his tongue repeatedly relieved his dry lips. This dirt's harder to move than I thought it would be. I guess it's only 11 degrees out here. I checked before I left the house. Yes, I locked it. Yes, I left them. They're sound asleep. What was I supposed to do? I couldn't have brought them with me. It's fine. They'll be fine. It's all worth it. It'll all be worth it. Once I see your shining face and kiss your rosy lips, it'll all be worth it. He began to dig faster, still keeping the dirt on the neat pile, and licked his lips more and more. The skin on his knuckles began to break and bleed, but the blood didn't get a chance to run. Once on the surface, it dried and froze. Periodically, he'd lick his knuckles and try to clean them of the blood, but every time he did, they just refroze and recracked. He again picked up the pace of his digging, still keeping the dirt on the neat pile, but stopped licking his knuckles. The blood wasn't going anywhere. "I know I'm close, honey. I know I'm close. How far down did they bury you?" He finally removed the last of the dirt until he was standing on a wooden box. He reached out for his crowbar and his blood-drenched knuckles and grasped it firmly. He finally removed the last of the dirt until he was standing on a wooden box. He reached out for his crowbar with his blood-drenched knuckles and grasped it firmly. Almost there, almost there. He wedged the crowbar along the side of the box and began to pry it back and forth. Faster and faster, he bent his elbows and jerked his shoulders until the crack of wood snapped through the air. He breathed out and pressed his palm to his forehead, both smooth as leather. He examined his hands and clenched them tightly. God, I can't even feel my hands anymore, my fingertips. I can't feel my fingertips. I don't even know if there's any blood left in these hands. I'm wearing it all like a pair of gloves. No, they'll be fine. Once I get home, I'll soak them in some hot water and they'll be fine. They'll itch for a while, but that's okay. That feeling will go away. He slipped his fingers in through the crack he made with the crowbar and pulled his elbows toward the sky with his teeth clenched tight. Nothing moved. He relaxed his shoulders and removed his hands. Goddamn thing won't budge. He again clamped his fingers around the cracked wood and pulled, as if trying to open a door that had been nailed shut. He pulled his hands out and surveyed his palms. Wooden slivers pierced his porcelain skin, and blood ran like streams from his fingertips to his palms and then down into his wrists. He stumbled back on the box and leaned up against the dirt wall he had dug. I came all this way, and this is as far as I get? I've cracked the surface of your confinement, but I can't even get far enough to see your face. Your shining face in my hands. They're destroyed. I can't lick these gloves off. He slumped down and sat atop the box he had worked so hard to find. He folded his arms and dug his hands into his coat. He clung them to his ribs like a leech clings to skin. His teeth began to chatter and his eyes grew cold. The dirt pressing against the back of his head resembled a block of ice freezing his skull. I guess I never thought about what would happen if I couldn't see you. What a husband I am. He tried to clench his fingers into fists, but they wouldn't move. He removed them from his coat and surveyed them. They were no longer shaking, but remained steady. In the night, they looked a dark purple from the blending of his blue hands and his dark red blood. His white breath breached the air less frequently, and his arms and legs became boards. It feels like the air doesn't want me to inhale it, and the night keeps encroaching on me. Why is it doing this? Why doesn't it want me to breathe? As if his body had turned to ice, he stopped moving. The sky was clear, and moonlight shone down upon him, but he could not perceive it. Is that your hand, darling? I see you trying to break free. Yes, that's it. You've always been stronger than me, darling. Rip that coffin apart. I know you can do it. Oh, how I want to see your face, your shining face. Please hurry, please hurry. Here, I'll help you, my darling. Maybe the both of us can rip these boards apart. That's it. You push, and I'll push. Oh, I can't wait to see your face, your shining face. Push, push, push. And there you are. I never thought I'd see you again, but here you are. I promised I'd kiss you again, and here I am. Let me kiss you. I don't want to spend a day without being able to kiss your lips, and now I can. Every day from here until eternity, I can curl up next to you when I sleep. I can kiss your lips and see your face. Oh, your shining face.